What up, Khan?
How you doing?
What you been up to, man?
I've been dealing with this cold. I got cold stricken a few days ago, and I've been fighting it as hard as I can. This is the toughest battle I've had since me versus Rhapsodist. It's getting pretty excruciating.
Well, you're coming off one of the most lopsided victories we've seen in the URL. Can you tell us why you took Fox after already battling QP?
Well, shout out to Fox, first of all. I basically took that battle because, you know, we had like some words prior to the event a few times, both in, you know, in online, in person, whatever. And after I dissed him in the battle against QP, really just because, you know, it was for entertainment value, nothing like personally against him. I never really have anything personally against anyone I battle generally, but you know, at the event, he came up to me and was like, "Do you want to battle?" And I was saying like, you know what? Yeah, I do.
All right, you had a 2-on-2 scheduled against PH and Amzilla.
Yep.
Never happened. Is that a match you're still looking to do?
Nah, not really. I talked to PH about it. You know, the momentum behind it's kind of gone. You know, shout out to PH and Amzilla. You know, it didn't happen because, you know, like, Am got locked up, and by the time he got out, like, it just didn't seem like all the stars were aligning behind it. You know, unfortunately, Costa came out to battle. But, like, either way, we just don't have it. You know, like, I'm not right now, especially, I'm not trying to battle, period, for a while. So, you know, I've already done so many. You know, if you really want to see a 2-on-2 of me, they're like 6 out there. So just Google them.
That's cool. You're one of only a handful of rappers who have been in the URL and Grind Time. What does it take to make that transition?
It takes nothing. It takes, but that's not true. That's fucked up. It takes knowing your audience, basically. You know, there's certain things I'd say in a crowd, even within the league, just region to region, that I wouldn't say in other places. I wouldn't say in Grind Time the same shit I say in the East Coast I'd say in California, vice versa, or Miami, or wherever. You know, like, these are considerations you have to make, and the people who don't, we're just like, nah, fucking make it. You know, YouTube's the one that matters. It's like, you know what? It does. This is for an international internet audience. That's true. But keep in mind that the crowd reaction is a part of your performance, it's part of your presentation. Because most people, you know, unconsciously, whether they like to admit it or not, are moved somehow while they're watching the computer by the crowd reaction. Some people are like so sterile and like YouTube obsessed and like internet raised. Like, they're people who basically the people who either didn't grow up without the internet, or the people who grew up, you know, were happy the internet came out because now they don't have to leave their house. Like, those people don't get or don't want to admit that crowds matter, and they do. You know, that's hip hop wouldn't exist without crowds.
They do, for sure.
You know, like, so. You know, I just thought of what the URL crowd would want. You know, and it's not that different from the Grind Time East Coast crowd, honestly. I see a lot of the same faces at both events, so it's like, whatever. Just more rappers at the URL, generally.
All right, a lot of Grind Time rappers are making bids to get a shot in the URL. Who do you think deserves a chance?
Anyone who's dope. Just take chances in general. You know, I don't, like, a lot of people say, like, oh, the thing is, you know, URL is about the hood, Grind Time's about the backpackers, the geeks. Like, I'll say it straight, most rappers are fucking losers. I don't care what demographic you belong to. You know, no one's cool. It's not fucking 1975. Like, there's no such thing as cool anymore. It's fucking, people watch Keyboard Cat on YouTube and shit. No, nothing's cool at all. Like, that don't get gassed over shit like that. Especially being a rapper, that's not cool. There are a million fucking rappers. So I don't buy the whole divide between the two in the first place. And I'll just say for the record, there's probably more jail time in the Grind Time League than there is in the URL. I'm not saying any names, but, like, you know, got our share of ex-felons. But, like, I don't know, just if you're dope, go try. You know, there's no reason not to. And if you're a battler, yeah, make that outreach. But if they don't want you, they don't want you. Who gives a fuck? Just make your waves and your noise wherever you can, and you'll eventually get noticed. You have to distinguish yourself. No one owes you any sort of recognition as a you know, a battle organizer, and especially you know, like, coming from the standpoint of a battle organizer. If I were in the shoes of URL and Grind Time, I would just take whoever's got a buzz. it's about the output and the following. So if you just want the most people, get the people who got the most people. Just reach out to them and get them, or even the ones who have potential. You can do that. And then like you gotta develop your talent too. Like that's something Grind Time East Coast been doing. You know, like developing the talent. Like we're not just focused on like, you know, and I said because I'm one of the people involved in the draft and getting new people in Grind Time East Coast. You know, this battle shit's not going to survive as something that people are interested in if it's the same old people. There are only so many people who are like the big names. You have to create new ones. You have to develop new talent. So, you know, that's something that I hope people or that the leagues don't falter on in the near future.
Well, we think that there's an extreme amount of talent coming out from the draft right now.
Yeah.
Lido, Days, you know, 2 Body Bag Mag's favorites. Tell us about how that whole drafting came about and kind of go into, you know, its main purpose.
All right. Well, basically, the draft came about because, you know, every division of Grind Time has tryouts, but we wanted our tryouts to be, you know, that much more efficient. You know, and so we have, you know, myself, Amzilla, Dutch Vega, now Diggs from When Animals Attack. We've been, you know, tasked with finding talent, you know, filtering through this, you know, submissions and holding these events where they're tryout battles. And unlike standard Grind Time battles, they're promo 3 rounds. And just try to find the best that we can in the region, you know, like and ones that stand out. You know, that's why each of us is there. Each of us has a different perspective, and you know, be like, oh, I really like this one. And someone else be like, nah, that dude, there's always someone exactly like him. Why get him? I'm kind of like,
Well, it's a farm system, pretty much.
yeah, exactly,
Just like any
exactly. I'd say I'm pretty much there in terms of what role I play. I'm not like a crazy organizer. I'm more of like just an advocate or voice or opinion. So I tend to, you know, really advocate someone strongly or try to go against them real strongly. So, you know, if you're trying to get into Grind Time East Coast, I'm a very loud, annoying voice you may have to get past and work.
All right. You just had a pretty big battle with Sensa in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just give us a quick kind of overall feel of how that went?
I think it went well. I think people kind of slept on me internationally because they don't get the references that I use in the UK, or even once they look them up, they don't have the same resonance because they're not from the UK. Whenever I go to another locale, and so before all that, shout out to Sensa. He had an incredible performance against me and Disaster that day. He's probably one of the best right now, one of the best, period. When you know, I go to another arena, even within the States, but you know, like I care about what like I said before, the crowd matters. I care about what the crowd wants to hear. They paid money to see a show. I'm a rapper that does a bajillion shows a year, you know, in New York City, outside New York City, wherever. And to me, I grew up thinking what matters to the people in front of you, centrally. So, you know, I owe it to them to come up with something that affects them and resonates with them. And so a lot of that might have gotten lost on people from outside, not just any from outside the UK or people who are like up on what's going on in the UK, you know.
All right, we've seen in other interviews that you've wanted to battle Dumbfound Dead, conceded. Are those still your 2 top options?
I don't really have any top options anymore. I really don't care. No offense to either of them. I just don't care. It's all the same to me. People can battle me, lose, or they cannot.
Well, why were those your 2 options in the past?
Because I basically, you know, first of all, no one else is fucking battling. Like no offense to the league organizers and shit, they weren't giving me opponents that were necessarily like up to my capabilities. So like, I was there with people were like, "Yo, SoulCon doesn't get good opponents." I don't fucking pick the opponents. I never have. I don't think I've literally almost never. I don't think I've really ever picked my own opponent like that. You know, I don't get to call the shots like that. And in a lot of ways, I don't necessarily deserve to because I've only really been seriously battling since November 2008, maybe a little before that, like in a serious fashion. So, well, you know, these cats have been around for like 2-3 years longer than me. But you know, at this point, it'd be cool to battle either of those people. I don't really care.
Well, if you could pick your next battle, who would it be? Your last battle or your next battle, or whatever? Which one?
I don't know. First? I mean, it'd be cool to battle Verb. That'd be cool. You know, Dub would be a cool battle. Source would be a cool battle. Ilmac.
or is it?
I don't know, just people gonna, it's out of my hands. Like, it's at a certain point, it's like speculation. People are just gonna be like, Soul Khan hasn't proved himself. It's like, I can't prove myself, no one's willing to give me the chance, and they don't owe me that chance at the same time. It's that when I say all this stuff like about like, don't blame me, don't blame anyone else either. It's all fucking voluntary. And it's really up to the organizers to provide incentive to both parties. But I'm, frankly, kind of busy on music now, so it's not a terribly urgent concern.
All right. Well, moving into music, you have a new album out.
Yep.
Can you tell everyone a little about how it came about and what went into that whole production?
All right. Well, I set out when I first moved to New York City in '07 to make my debut solo album. It got sidelined by a lot. Just trying to make it, an ends meet in New York City, because this is, if you're not aware, a very fucking expensive place to live. Even if you live in the hood, it's fucking expensive, honestly. Then I started working at Fat Beats. I was pitching it over there. Met Brown Bag All Stars, formed as a group. That took over as a priority. And then, just time and life keeps getting in the way, and it's tough to get all of the factors in order to make the album. And it ultimately took like 2.5 years just to make this one record, Soul Like Khan, which you can download at soulkhan.com, by the way.
Already did.
It's like a good introduction. It's a lot of stuff that I feel is a good way to get acquainted with what I can do musically. It's not the full measure, because it was kind of a piecemeal process. Now that I'm fully anchored, got that first album done, I really know what I want to do with the next few projects. And I'll say this: if you thought battle rappers can't make music, listen to this, because it's better than most music made by people who don't even battle in the first place. In fact, I would say you could probably put it up against 99% of hip-hop, underground or mainstream releases this year, and it either goes toe-to-toe with them or stomps them to death. So yeah, that's the real battle for me, the music. And try to beat me in that, you're gonna have a lot of fucking difficulty, because I don't make corny shit like most people do.
Who are some other artists that you're kind of into, whether it be battlers or even mainstream, that you're feeling right now?
Jay Electronica definitely. I think he's probably the most important development hip-hop wise that's come about in a while. Who else? It's always a tough question. My man Scene, that's just the homie too, but he's really incredibly dope. You may know him from his album he made with Blue called Day Late and Dollar Short. Definitely cop that if you don't have it already. I'll be working with him more in the future. My own crew, really. Brown Bag, my producers, J57, Audible Doctor. I'm into a lot of different stuff, hip-hop, non-hip-hop. And it's a good time for music, honestly. The quality of it, maybe not business-wise, but the quality of it's really good if you give it a chance. There's a lot of bullshit out there too, but what are you gonna do about it? You can't battle people out of the industry.
That's about it. So, any last shout-outs you want to make? Anyone you want to?
First, let's be honest. Shout out to Body Bag Magazine for making this whole thing possible. Not to diminish it by calling it a little thing. That's what she said. And shout out to Grind Time, Smack URL, King of the Dot, Don't Flop, Punch Out, King of the Ring. There's so many different good battle entities. Body Bag battles in Colorado, No Coast, A-Hat. Damn, there's so many. There are a lot of great entities. Flip Top, killing all of us in the numbers. You should probably go on forever. Real Talk Battle League, that's another one. Got Beef. I could be here for the next 35 minutes. But yeah, there's and shout out to Fat Beats, R.I.P., Brown Bag All Stars. Battle viewers, thank you very much for watching the shit, and please download my album, Soul Like Khan. I promise you, it is probably better than almost all the other shit you got recently. It's a real. I don't get boastful that much. The album I will. I'll say it just fucks everything up. You're gonna love the shit out of it. You can listen to it one sitting, then listen to it in pieces. And besides that, more shit on the way. I got projects with every single producer from Brown Bag, and those are gonna be even better. Good luck to everyone in everything. Happy New Year.